Well, hello again, everybody, from the Wisconsin Sports Stream studio and our marvelous producer, Jason Ruck. I'm Tom Pippins with John Dodds, and this is the Pippin Dodds Marquette video podcast combining with, well, 24/7 Sports Network, a subsidiary of CBS Sports. John, by the way, is publisher of MarquetteHoops.com, and of course, he always brings us the greatest guests without question, and we have him right here. We've had him before. He knows everything there is, not only about Marquette, JD, but about what's going on the local recruiting front, and we have so much to talk about, starting with the coaching staff. So Mark Miller from Wisconsin Basketball Yearbook, welcome back, friend. You look great, and we appreciate your valuable time.
Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. All right, tip it off, JD. I know you want to get right into this whole coaching staff with Mark.
Mark, it's been a couple months since you've been on. A lot of excitement around the Shaka Smart coaching staff and program. Just want to go over the coaching staff and your thoughts on who they are, and possibly maybe we can look at the geography. I remember Stan Johnson was kind of the focus on the western part of the United States for Wojo, and it looks like it's early, but it looks like Marquette's focusing on Chicago and Texas and the state of Wisconsin.
Right. I think you're also dipping into Minnesota as well. When you look at the staff, I had a prior relationship with Neil Berry, so I go back a little bit with him. He was the guy, I guess it was about 3-4 years ago. We started calling each other about Tyrese Halliburton at Oshkosh North at the time. And Neil was an assistant at Iowa State, and was one of the few high major schools that really recruited Tyrese hard. And as you guys know, that turned out pretty well for Iowa State, and also for Tyrese, and now for the Sacramento Kings. So, we communicated quite a bit back in those days, and then he went with Shaka to Texas and had spent the last couple of years out there. And I got to talk to him quite often again on David Joplin, because Texas was recruiting David out of Brookfield Central and landed him, of course. So Neil is going to be, I believe, really hitting Wisconsin hard. That's going to be, one of his primary areas. And of course, all the staff pitches in on all the recruits, as you guys know. But one of his main targets for this upcoming year, and the staff's target, is Leon Bond, the 6'6" senior to be at Wauwatosa East. So they're hoping, to land him. They also extended recent offers to a couple other state prospects. Milan Ciljovic of Pewaukee. Milan is a 6'8", kind of a three-man, four-man perimeter shooter. Many of the people may recall him from the state tournament. He played very well for Pewaukee, which won the Division II state championship. And then they also offered a sophomore to be Con Knippel, who's a 6'4" wing. His father was an outstanding player at Wisconsin Lutheran High School and at Wisconsin Lutheran College, and his mother, Sherry Nordgaard, I believe, is still the all-time leading scorer at UW Green Bay. So Con is one of the top sophomores in the state. So it's apparent early on that Coach Berry and obviously Coach Smart and the staff have made Wisconsin a priority, with 3 offers out there already, and of course with David Joplin joining the program after reopening his recruitment when Shaka left Texas and committing to Marquette.
Mark Miller, Wisconsin Basketball Yearbook. He's so good that he can talk the staff, and then he can jump right into that recruiting, and we want to embellish that a little bit more. Mark, before we take a time out in this segment, back to that coaching staff, do you feel good about it in terms of the chemistry and the way they work with Shaka, the way they will potentially connect with the young men that they're bringing in?
Right. Well, Cody Hatt and Neil Berry obviously are coming with Shaka from Texas, so they have a prior working relationship. I've gotten to know Cody a little bit, and Neil very well, of course, and those two guys are just top-notch guys. I mean, they really get after it and really, are kind of 24/7 guys to go off your the company that you're working for here. I mean, they just are constantly on it, just constantly recruiting, constantly player development, constantly pushing now Marquette, from a public relations standpoint. DeAndre Haynes, of course, is coming to Marquette from Maryland, so he's got some high major experience coaching the Big Ten, which will be very helpful for Marquette as well. So I think that the staff has got some good experience. They have different backgrounds from where they're comfortable in terms of recruiting and in terms of building relationships with the players in the program. I feel very confident that Coach Smart and his assistants will do just that. And, I've talked to a couple guys already on the team who have referred to Shaka as a real players coach, and they said it's quite a change from the previous staff in that respect. He really is all about building relationships, and in this day and age, I think that's the way you kind of have to coach. It's the days of being the coach and you're the player and you have to listen to me and do whatever I tell you. That's still there to a degree, but the players are going to be much more responsive if they know you as an individual, and that they feel like you care about them and have their their best interest in heart at all times.
Yeah, he's the complete package, JD, and he's not afraid to jump on the floor with his players. We've seen some of that, Mark. He said, I'm getting to that age where I got to be very careful, but that's really outstanding. I think what we'll do is take a timeout.
Sure.
And then we'll come back and we'll talk about some of the players coming in, the 5 freshmen Shaka has been able to attract, and that should be a whole bunch of fun with Mark Miller, Wisconsin basketball yearbook. He knows it all, but he's a humble man and a good man, so we're honored to have him here. The Pippen Dodds Marquette Video Podcast with John Dodds, publisher of MarquetteHoops.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, a subsidiary of CBS Sports. From WSS Sports and our producer, Jason Ruck, we are coming right back.